barriers for how we're going to get guided work started in here for both our math on data management and our poetry units, and then we're going to come up with some strategies in order to overcome those barriers. So first of all, getting guided work done, when I have you over at the guided table and we still have meaningful work going on over here, what are some of our barriers? What's getting in our way from being able to do that really well? Eliza.
Kids are getting distracted.
Kids over here?
Kids over.
Yeah. So the rest of the class isn't on task. Great. What were you going to say, Nathaniel?
I was going to say switching from each subject. It's hard to get your mind to go each way.
That's right. So when you're doing something over at your desk and you're really into it and you know what your learning goal is, it's really hard to come over here and start something new and then go back to it. You feel like there's time being wasted, right? Okay. What are some other barriers? Caleb?
You'd get pulled away from your friends and it's not fun.
Okay. You want to be working collaboratively with the people at your desk who you've chosen to sit with. And you have to go sit with other people that you might not want to work with or might not have a relationship with, and that's no fun, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. What else? April.
People might feel uncomfortable or there's not enough participation.
So you might feel awkward sharing about what you're reading, especially like Caleb said with different people, or you might feel unwilling to share because there isn't enough participation. Or again, it kind of goes back to what Nathaniel was talking about with using our time the best. If people aren't participating and we're just kind of sitting there staring at each other, is it the best use of our time? Right. All good points. Cameron.
Interruptions, like the rest of the class is asking you, but you're with the guided group.
Right. So if I'm being pulled away to answer questions, it disrupts everybody at the table. Right. Can we think of any others, or are we good with that? Let's start there. Okay. So if these are the things getting in our way, these are our barriers, what can we do about it? What do we have control over? What are our strategies to overcome those? Look at one and see if you can relate a strategy that we already know back to it. Eliza?
For if the rest of the class is off task, then we could help each other be on task.
Encourage and remind, right? So you can just politely or quietly let them know that there is something going on that they should be working on, offer your support, give them an idea or explanation, point them to where they're supposed to go, point to the schedule, just encourage learning going on in the room, for sure. What else, Nathaniel?
For switching subjects, moving back and forth, take 5 minutes to prepare yourself for the next subject.
So those 5-minute transitions that we often do in our middle block, where if the teacher says I'm going to take a guided group in 5 minutes, that's when you start to think, okay, I'm going to go over with Ms. Huff, I have to get my reading journal out or whatever I need it to take over there, and then take a little 5-minute breather before you go back to your desk to work so that you're ready to focus on what you need to focus on. Those are great ideas. Any other strategies to overcome these things? Cameron?
For the interruptions,
Yeah.
if you need help, ask a classmate or move on to something else.
You can ask a classmate, what am I supposed to be doing? Where do I find this? Is this on Google Classroom? Do I need a calculator for this? Or move on to something you know how to do. Yeah, and then focus on that, and then as soon as your teacher is free or the classmate you need to work with, if you've been pulled away from a group, is free, and then move on to that. I will give you extra time if you're using your time well, right? That's consistent in here. What do we have here? Strategies for being pulled away from people you like or working with people that you aren't used to. Yeah, April.
For the participation, we can kind of encourage each other to participate.
You're right. Encourage, speak positively, tell them they had good ideas, ask them questions about what they've read or what they're doing. What else could you do? Eliza?
If you don't have a full answer, you could add on to what somebody else says.
That's right. So I really like what you said about whatever. I think that's a good idea. Use these close reading prompts that are up here. Get your blue bookmark out and build on those questions that we practice doing all the time in here anyway. That's right. What about being pulled away from people you want to work with? That was your concern. What could you do? That's a tough one, right? So you're working with Will over here. You two are having a great time. You're enjoying sharing what you're reading and writing together. And then all of a sudden I say you can't work with Will for 15 minutes. It sucks. Something you can do about it? April?
You could either quietly work on something else until they can get back, or you can
right.
work on it a little bit and then inform your partner on what they missed.
That's a great idea. So if you, even though it isn't partner work, if you and Will are enjoying working on your writer's notebooks together, you say, I want to wait until Will comes back because I enjoy doing that with him, work on something else, and then when Will comes back, say, I waited for you, can we get back to work right away? And that way you're still getting the joy and the inspiration out of that person, but you're doing what you need to do for school. Those are all great strategies. So what we can do is put this up on the wall, and when we start guided reading and guided math, we can refer back to these when we're having trouble. Any other thoughts? Thanks, guys.